Hello and welcome to Box, a Formula One podcast. I am the nuts stuck in Bottas's tire at Monaco, Shannon Hayes.
I'm Bottas's malfunctioning wheel gun at Bahrain, Sam Cockcroft.
And I'm Bottas's two wrong tires at Sakir, Meryl Huseman.
Today, we are talking about the pit crew conspiracy, kind of. Well, just pit crews in general.
Pit crew, but mostly conspiracy.
Yeah, as promised.
Yeah, there is something going on at Mercedes with Bottas.
There sure is.
But first, we should talk about who's in the pit crew, you know? Quick little background.
What is the pit crew?
What is a pit crew?
Yeah, let's...
I am woman, I don't know what car is. Please tell me what car does. So, the pit crew. First of all, to answer our quick question from last week's episode, just one pit crew. Bottas does not have a separate pit crew.
Okay,
There's just one per team. So that just means I think Mercedes hates him. I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that this same pit crew does Hamilton and Bottas and never has an issue with Hamilton, but Bottas has a issue every single race. Somebody's
out to get him.
Yeah.
That's sus, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, 20 members on a pit crew. We kind of covered it last week. I think 3 of them are on tires, and then the rest of them were just kind of, all around the place. But I wanted to talk about the members and their salaries because this surprised me. So I found this listing online of pit crew members' salary, like average 2021.
Wait, could we guess?
Yeah, I'll list the position and
Okay.
you guys can guess.
Yeah.
So I'll also just say I think this is primarily based off of Red Bull, which is obviously the best pit crew. They win a ton of world records all the time. So with a grain of salt, they're probably the highest paid as well because they're the highest skilled. Mm-hmm. But also worth noting that, this is also a very niche and skilled profession, I think. And it is kind of a sport in itself. So it makes sense that their salaries are a bit higher than your average mechanic.
I was going to guess super low. That's where I thought this was going. But now you've really changed my mind. Now I think it's going to be crazy.
Super high. Yeah. I feel like this is maybe a next career path for us.
Some of them are high, some of them are weirdly low, and that's why it's interesting. Okay. So if you want to guess, we'll start right off the bat. We'll go with fire extinguisher man.
Wait, there is a position for that?
There is a whole position for... I'll read through the positions, actually. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have... the crew chief, guy in charge of the whole crew, obviously, the refueling person, the tire changers, the tire carriers, jackmen, wingmen who put on the front wing and shit and straighten it out, stabilizer, those are the guys on the side of the cars stabilizing, starter man.
Oh.
It was my understanding that it's... Okay, my guess is that it's the guy that does the green light and tells them when they can go again.
That's what I was thinking, too. Here, wait, I think... Okay. The starter man stood ready with a starter tool to restart the car should the driver stall his engine during the pit stop.
Okay.
It says nowadays, as modern F1 cars have anti-stall systems and can be started by the driver independently if needed, using the car's battery, this role is no longer necessary unless a situation calls for a complete engine reset. So it's probably maybe that's why there's probably no description, is because they probably don't use them very often anymore.
Got you. Well, he still has a salary listed, so that's weird. And then fire extinguisher man is just on a standby if there is a fire. So, why don't we start with fire extinguisher man? What do you think their annual salary is?
In US dollars?
I think
in US dollars,
is this
yes.
Okay.
I
want to say
kind of think
it's pretty high for
higher,
fire. Yeah, because he has to, if there is
it's a dangerous job.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. If, I feel like...
Gotta have good reaction times, for sure.
I think it's going to be around, Yeah. I want to say like 60K.
Same.
So yeah, I was gonna go with like 100.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, what is it?
Fire Extinguisher Man comes in the lowest at $30,000. They
Oh,
are massively underpaying their fire
Yeah.
extinguisher
Oh my gosh.
men. This is horrible.
Oh
These
my
poor
God.
men
Of course, I
are
just
getting pennies on the dollar
Yeah.
to save someone's life.
sucks.
We just watched earlier today that one clip with Jos Verstappen. He
Yeah.
would have died were it not for his fire extinguisher men.
Well, so this actually says that the job became standard after his incident.
Oh.
So they didn't really like it wasn't like a popular thing until, you know, he almost died because of the fire.
For those listening, I'll just give a quick audio description of it. There's a video. You can look it up. I would recommend it. Jos Verstappen pulls into the pits. The refueling guy pulls out the thing too quickly and sprays fuel all over the car, and then it just bursts into flames. And Jos Verstappen is on fire, and it's kind of horrific to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also read that like he had his visor up a little, so he has a burn on his nose.
It was really horrendous seeing. I don't know if it was Jos himself or one of the pit crews, but someone was running around on fire, and they had to put them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really intense.
It was also crazy because he looks like, I feel like I haven't seen that many pictures of him when he was younger, but he looks exactly like Max.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh my god, that's Max.
It really does
He's on
look like him
fire.
in the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Fire Extinguisher Man, $30,000. It's also worth noting that they get race-winning bonuses as well. So Fire Extinguisher Man gets a race-winning bonus of $250 if they win.
That's it?
They get $500 per race, and that amounts to about $30,000 a year. So you go to a race, and you get $500 until your next race.
500. But are they working just the race? Or are they not needed during? I guess
Yeah, that's fair.
But like, I mean, I'm assuming if they're working the race, like they do have to be there the rest of the race weekend.
Yeah.
Getting
Okay.
$500
No,
Wait,
yeah,
that
I
does-
think they just mean per race weekend. Like, it's
Yeah.
just per each race in the
That
season, they
kinda-
get $500.
$500 per weekend? Oh my god, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Right? So, anyway, from Fire Extinguisher Man, let's say, I don't know.
You said that was the lowest?
That is the lowest, yes.
Don't go in order
By,
though,
like-
'cause
Yeah.
give us a
But like,
random one.
but like
No,
the
I'll
lowest
differ.
by like a significant amount. I guess I just don't know where to guess
Yeah.
because I don't know like what is high for a
well,
picture.
we'll
or,
guess.
like, what
We'll
is
see.
low
We'll
for-
see. What's the next
Okay.
position?
So I'll go in with, tire changers. How much do you think tire changers are getting?
At Red Bull, they're so quick. I think they get quite a bit. I want to say like
You can guess per
Oh,
race
but I
or
don't
per
wanna
season.
get
or,
to-
yeah.
I don't.
I'm
wanna,
gonna go like I don't
want to guess too high.
I think I'm gonna go
now.
with Merrill's for last.
Yeah,
So like
60K?
60.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
I'm gonna
60.
say 65K.
Per season?
Yeah.
Okay. They are making $350,000 per season because they're like elite athletes, basically.
Okay. See, all these numbers. If we started with something else, I feel like I would have done better. But you tripped me up with that
the
fire
blue-
extinguisher man.
Why is the fire extinguisher man not
Right?
more?
Okay.
They're
Okay.
massively
I
underpaying
think.
their fire extinguisher men.
Okay. I think that makes a little bit more sense, about on par with what I was expecting, but I was thrown off by that first one.
Oh my, we need
Wow.
to become pit crew.
All
not
right.
fire extinguisher.
Is that the highest paid one?
It's tied for highest. Can you guess what the other highest paid one is?
Wingman.
Nope.
Oh.
The stabilizer people.
Oh.
Oh, the crew chief.
Nope. Well, he's above everyone else.
Okay.
Oh, he's
But, like-
yeah, okay.
Which other position?
It's the fueling man, the refuel guy.
Oh.
So he's getting
Wait,
massively overpaid.
Yeah.
He's getting 10 times more than the extinguisher guy who is there in case he fucks up.
Wait. I think though that makes. I think The extinguisher man, though, he has the fire extinguisher. Like, he comes in if it's needed, so he's technically safer and better off than the guy who's actually handling the fuel.
He might actually get it, like, become part of the fire. Yeah, but, like, no. Wait, he doesn't even have to do anything because the fuel is regulated. Like, they already have a set amount of fuel going through the tube, so he doesn't even need to...
So that... Okay, well, here's my thing, though, is because they don't... I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. I don't know where you were looking, Shannon. But this says that they don't do refueling in F1 anymore. So is this guy not exist?
This is
like what's
F1 pit crew members salary 2021.
Well, it might be the refueling guy like
Sporting
before,
free.
Like no, because they refuel between like qualies and stuff.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just like, but like. That's okay. Then that really doesn't make sense as to why he's making that much if it's not really something like that happens during a race. Because they don't refuel during races.
Right?
Well,
they also have Starter Man on here, and apparently that doesn't exist. So I don't know.
Okay,
but
well,
I'll just run through the rest of the salaries. We don't have to keep guessing because there's so many positions. But we've got crew chief makes $1 million, refueling and tire changers make $350,000. The tire carriers, the people that just run up with the tires, $270,000 a year. The jackmen and the wingmen make $150,000 a year. The stabilizers make $90,000. The starter man hypothetically makes $40,000. So the guy that doesn't exist is making more than the fire extinguisher man, who comes in last at $30,000 a year.
I want to become a tire carrier. I feel like you can train for that easily.
It's like, just lifting shit and running with it. So
yeah.
Dude,
I'm like halfway there.
Yeah.
Wait, how much did you say like a jackman makes?
The jackman makes $150,000. And all you gotta do is possibly get hit by Lance Stroll a couple of times, so...
Yeah.
That's really it.
I mean, I guess, like, there's some of the, like, pit crew fail videos that I was watching this morning. Like, it's either the car bursts into flames, or they accidentally hit, like, 3 of their crew members.
I just looked up how much an F1 tire weighs, and it weighs under 10 kilos. Like, anyone can do that!
Listen.
Why are they getting paid so much?
This could be us.
It's funny because, like anyone can do that, but somehow the people that they've picked will like let a tire go flying the other direction or like not be ready with like I just think that that's funny.
Hey F1, hey Mercedes, we've got 3 eligible pit crew members right here. Mercedes,
I can carry 2 at the same time. Come on,
Mercedes. Meryl can carry me carrying 2 of the tires, so it'll be perfect. And when you think about it too, you know, Mercedes, you're all about diversity, right? That's what we like to see.
Where's all the women in your pit crew?
Where's the women in the pit crew? We can carry 10 kilos. That's nothing. So consider us, Mercedes. For 3 of your 4 tires, we promise they won't get stuck. I can't promise that. That depends on the Pirellis. I don't know, but. So speaking of tires getting stuck, why don't we move into the rest of our topic, which is Bottas repeatedly getting humiliated and victimized by his own pit crew for almost every race at this point. So last weekend in Monaco, we saw it with the tire that would not come off. Very funny to watch. And it stayed on for 2 whole days after the race. They couldn't even get the fucking tire off. That is how much of a shit show it is over at Mercedes. So, also Mercedes, hey, we could have gotten that tire off.
Apparently they got Ferrari to come in and help with a sledgehammer.
I saw so many memes where they were like, Ferrari's only helping to get a closer look at the car.
Yeah. I mean, So...
Now that they don't have Inspector Seb anymore, they gotta figure out a way to peek in.
So, apparently the reason that happened was that, you know, like when you're hanging up, like a picture frame or shelves or something, or anything, and you're screwing something into something else, and when you go in at the wrong angle, it gets really hard to put it in further. But if you decide to commit to it, the screw is gonna get stuck. That's what happened. That's what they did. They went in at the wrong angle and the screw got stuck.
Sad.
And so that's basically what happened. And because obviously it's like motorsport technology, there's a ton of torque, so it could overcome the going in at the wrong angle, but it couldn't get a grip to get it out at the wrong angle.
This is what I don't understand. Like, these people that are doing this are making, as we have just discussed, over $200,000, most of them over $200,000 a year. How can you still fuck up that badly?
Yeah.
I also, listen, like, at times it really looks like F1 cars are, like, held together by duct tape sometimes.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they remove a different part of the car to get the tire off? Like, that statement sounded a little stupid off the bat. But what I mean is that, like, you know how the tires are on the little things at the sides, kind of? You're telling me there isn't screws attaching those to the side of the car? They kept it on the car the whole time, it looked like. Why not take that off first? And then, you know, work it there, replace that whole part, maybe, I don't know, like, something.
I don't remember what this was, but I swear I saw a video on Twitter of some, like, I don't remember, maybe it was, like, NASCAR or something. They couldn't get the tire off, so they went in with, like, a full, like one of those, like, circular saws.
Oh my God.
And, like, cut the entire block where the tire was out of the car.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, F1, just do that. Like, it's, listen.
You know, after 2 days.
An F1 car is just a hodgepodge of parts that's bound to be replaced over the course of a season anyway.
True.
Just, you know, cut the whole thing off. Who cares? You can lose it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, just thoughts. But yeah, that's, and my conspiracy proposal, I'll go in now, is that, let me think of a way to tie this back in with the Charles conspiracy. I want everything at Monaco to fit together. So,
but we already said that it wouldn't be possible, though.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, so you know how last week we mentioned that Monaco has an independent race director, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we had the cut to Lance memes and everything like that when there was actually interesting stuff happening. I think that maybe because this race director does not have any familiarity with Formula One, they were like, you know, there's not enough drama in the last few races. Let's artificially create some. So I think what happened is that the race director is in control of everything. And he's the one that made Charles crash, and he is also the one that put Gorilla Glue in the nut in Bottas's tire. He snuck in before, and he crazy glued it shut. And that way, they wouldn't get the tire off. And that way, there would be more people tuning in. Because now, when you Google Bottas tire, or like anything related to pit crews and tires, everything that comes up is the Monaco GP. Free advertising, come to Monaco. And that is what the Monaco director wants. So that is my conspiracy. It's all been planned from the beginning from the Monaco race director. What do you guys think?
I think he got one of his girls to do it. That's what the girls were for. They probably glued.
They were
That's
in on
why
it.
the girl. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they were there. They put it in a
The
Louis
only
Vuitton
reason they were
suitcase. They brought over the Gorilla Glue in that.
No one would suspect them.
Yeah, no one suspects a girl in a pretty dress to come over and glue your nuts to your car. But it'll happen to you soon enough if you don't think it's coming.
Watch out for girls trying to glue your nuts.
Yeah. Never let a pretty girl in a dress glue your nuts to your car. Amen, brother. That's it.
Wow, that was a great conspiracy theory. Yeah.
Anyway, why don't we move on to our next example?
So, going back a couple of races, we have the Bahrain Grand Prix of this year, in which Bottas suffered yet another incident. So this one was kind of confusing. The Mercedes says it was a misplaced wheel gun, which, when I first read it, was like, did they just lose the wheel gun? But no, they used it wrong. So these people, who again are highly paid, very well trained, somehow managed to mess it up again. And basically they were trying to take off the nut and didn't get it off all the way. And then the pit crew member realized his mistake, went back with the wheel gun to try and take it off all the way. But the guns are smart. Like, they take off and then they take on, like, and they change the way that it functions each time. I think so.
Oh.
So basically what he did is he went back to try and take it off all the way, but ended up putting it back on. And then he had to go in again to try to take it off. And so what could have been, you know, a quick, great 2-second pit stop ended up being way longer because they had to, like, take off the tire.
Yeah.
Like, they had to keep trying to get the tire off. So it's not, like, definitely not anywhere near the 40-something hours of his pit stop this past weekend. But, you know, every second matters.
That is a new
and
record,
it's still... Yeah.
Yeah. We
Sorry.
also... I wonder how many times we've said nut so far.
You know, F1's
New
all about
drinking
game. Nut. Hell yeah.
Listen to the podcast and drink every time.
Yeah.
Do a shot every time we say nut.
We should put that in the beginning, though, because it's... Yeah, that's... I honestly had forgotten about that just because, like, so much other shit has gone down since then that, like, I forgot about that slow pit stop.
Mood. Same.
Yeah. Because it wasn't nearly as bad as the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's the conspiracy here, though?
I mean,
How did that happen?
I wonder if it was the same tire. That same pit crew member is just really out to get Bottas.
No, but that doesn't tie in with what happened at Monaco.
It can be it can be a different conspiracy, but let me hear more about this pit crew member. Hold on a sec. What's his deal?
I mean, if it's this, maybe, I don't know what tire it was. I can't remember. But if it was the same tire, I think this guy needs to be investigated.
Maybe Bottas stole his girl or something. Maybe, like, he's got
yeah, Tiffany Cromwell was definitely dating one of the pit crew members before.
And then Bottas swooped in, and she left him for him, and ever since there's been a vendetta there, and this one sole pit crew member who has not been fired from Mercedes has just been fucking with him for the past several years.
Actually, that's kind of interesting, though. I wonder how easily they go through pit crew members. Like, do they fire them easily? Like, if shit like this happens, do they get, like, another shot, or is that, like, goodbye?
No, I feel like they get another shot, but I want to say, like, I feel like all of the pictures... okay, I feel like all the pictures, and, like, you see all of them, like, sitting, watching the race from, like, the garage and stuff. They're all very young guys. Yeah, they're so young, so, I don't know if they get fired easily, but, like... I think the career length is maybe fairly short because I feel like you can't. It's one of those things that you can't do until you're like 65, ready to retire.
No, but I mean, like, with a few years, they've made so much money that like they can retire if they want.
Yeah, they make all their money, and then they can go play golf with Carlos.
Oh my god, the dream, honestly. Speaking of Carlos Sainz, why don't we throw it over to our investigative reporter, Shannon Hayes, reporting live from outside Carlos's apartment right now. Shannon, what do you have for us? Well, I'm here outside his apartment yet again, and I noticed that he recently retweeted famed athlete Usain Bolt, but it wasn't anything to do with their raw athleticism or working out or anything along those lines. It was actually a brief riddle. So, hey gang, if you would like to partake in this riddle with me, Carlos Sainz entered his answer in today, and it appears correct, but let me see if you guys are as smart as Carlos Sainz. So the riddle is, someone's mother has 4 sons, north, south, and east. What is the name of the 4th son? Message me the name of the 4th son. If you lose, you have to repost.
It's what?
It's someone.
No, it's what?
It is what? It is indeed what? Carlos has retweeted with the answer. So these two athletes have come together in this moment for this riddle that doesn't...
Wait, read it again?
Someone's mother has 4 sons. North, south, and east. What is the name of the 4th son? Period. Message me
but
the
it
name.
could also
But
be
it could have also
someone.
been someone.
It could have also been someone.
Oh.
I've seen ones where it's like that,
Yeah.
where like it's the first one.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a period. You got me there with the period versus the question mark.
Yeah. It's tricky. It's tricky when read aloud. In other Carlos news, it does appear that he played some European football, aka American soccer, with his buddy and teammate Charles Leclerc this weekend, and has worn his football kit onto a plane, so you can imagine the smell. Oh shit, I think my laugh startled him. I think I have to run. He's turning on the lights now. I can hear the dogs barking. Anyway, I gotta go, but this has been Shannon Hayes reporting in from Carlos Sainz's backyard. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Smooth operator.
Thanks, Shannon.
Well,
that was great.
Thanks.
Thank you
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah,
Can
stay
safely
safe.
escape Carlos's backyard.
I hear Spanish prison isn't the best place to be, so hopefully everything is all right with Shannon at this time. Our thoughts and prayers go out to her. Thank you once again to our wonderful sponsors of this very official and formal program. Up next, I'm Ira Glass now. Thank you once again to all of the wonderful sponsors of this program. Up next, we have more investigative journalism on the subject of Bottas's pit crew sabotaging him in the pit lane. Meryl Huseman is an investigative reporter weighing in on this journey. We'll throw it over to Meryl now.
That was really good.
Thank you.
Oh.
The only like serious 5 seconds of this
honest,
podcast
the
will be
rest-
that.
Yeah. So the other incident of big major sabotage by Bottas's pit crew was obviously Sakir. And I mean, we talked about it a lot during when did we talk about it actually? Our episode on
Tires.
was it tires? Yeah, it was definitely tires. I think you
Episode
covered
2.
it.
I was gonna say we obviously
Yeah.
talked about it during
Yeah.
our secure episode, but
But
I
we
realized
didn't have a secure.
we
yeah,
were not-
that's what I was gonna say.
we didn't have a podcast at that point.
Wow, we've come so far. Anyway, so obviously it was the tire mix-up with George, and they explained it more in terms of like what actually happened with the radio, because I think when we were doing the tire episode, we talked about that it was like some radio issue, but how the radios work is that like they can only listen to one speaker at a time, and usually this would be like their pit manager, who's at Mercedes is like Ron Meadows, I think, and so usually they're listening to one to him, but the radio can be like overridden if a driver starts speaking. So during the Sakir GP, like they were kind of late bringing George into the pits, but so when Ron started saying to the pit crew, all right, we're like doing a pit stop, George started speaking at the same time. So for half of the pit crew, they heard Ron, and half of the pit crew heard George, because like that, I don't know, that's how the system works, like that not everyone's gets overridden, I guess.
Weird.
So that's why only 2 tires were brought out for George, but because then George stopped talking, and then they heard that like apparently Bottas's tires were already there, so like that was fine, but then that's why like the 2 tires were brought out for George, and then they put on 2 tires of Bottas's tires, but they didn't realize that until George was gone. So like I don't know, I think it's kind of sus that only half of the pit crew heard George and half of the pit crew heard Ron. Like, what happened there? I don't know.
Is that a conspiracy?
Yeah, like maybe George purposefully talked through Ron. Through Ron.
At the exact moment.
The
crew chief was trying to talk. George Russell knew that he had to say something.
He was like, this is my moment, fuck Bottas. But little did he know he would fuck himself over in the process.
Well,
exactly.
Well, it would have panned out okay had he not, like, gotten a puncture, though. Because remember, he was, like, doing well still, even after this, like, third pit stop. He was still doing well. He probably could have gotten a podium.
But I think, didn't he get the puncture because he was, like, really pushing the tires because he was trying to make up all of the time that he lost?
I mean, but he also, didn't he get... No, because wasn't it because of Jack Aitken's front wing thing? I thought it was because Jack Aitken, like, had an incident right before.
I don't think it was wasn't like a puncture in, like, the sense that you would normally understand the word puncture, more just like a hole that was caused by
just, like,
the driving that he was,
but
like, because he was, I mean, he made up so many places in such few laps that I think it was because of how hard he was pushing.
Yeah, that's what Toto said, at least.
But,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I remember reading. Yeah. But.
Well, but there's definitely conspiracy theories there, because something definitely happened with those radios.
Wires were certainly crossed. And then we want to take
moving on now?
A brief look back in time to 2015.
Yes, so 2015, pre-Mercedes, but Bottas was still with a Mercedes-affiliated team because he was racing for Williams at the time. And a similar incident happened again. Basically, this is very confusing in my opinion. They've changed all of the regulations, I think, after this incident. But basically, the pit crew made a mistake by sending Bottas back out with an illegal tire combination. So kind of similar to what happened at Sakir to George. But, so basically, there's, like, this little section here that says, like, the regulations is, like, a set of tires will be deemed to compromise two front and two rear tires, all of which must be of the same specification. And they made a mistake, and they gave him 3 soft tires and 1 medium.
Oh, how do you...
What?
They're color-coded.
Yeah!
How do you...
That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, so... I mean, that makes no sense. I just don't, like...
One of these guys is colorblind. That's why.
Yeah. It's the same pit crew member, despite the fact that he was colorblind. They moved him up to be on Mercedes crew, and he's been continuing to fuck over Bottas this entire time.
He moved with Bottas, yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
The only explanation.
Yep.
This one pit crew member is just really out to get him.
And that pit crew member was Lewis Hamilton. That's right, folks. He does it all.
We cracked it.
During Lewis's pits, he hops out of the car and then, like, gets in a pit crew uniform. He's just that fast.
No,
he can afford to lose a few laps.
It's Angela. It's his personal assistant. Like, that lady that is always with him. Like, you never see her when, like, Lewis is, like, getting in the car. It's because she's, like, on Bottas's car.
I've never seen Angela in an F1 car with Lewis once. So what does that say? Where has she been? She's been in the pit crew. Fucking with Bottas.
That's it.
Yep. Angela, we see you. Yeah. We see you, girl. Good for you.
Okay, but interestingly enough, this was also... After this incident, they changed the regulations. So, before, it was... Okay, they changed the rule so that you can now mix tires of the same specification after qualifying. So what he did then would still be illegal now, but in Bahrain of last year, not Sakir, so the race before, Bottas had 2 different sets of tires, basically. Like they were, I think, all the same type of tire. I think they were both,
but like different sets.
They were all soft tires, but they were from different sets, which everybody was freaking out. They were like, that's not allowed, how can you do that? But there was a rule change that now allowed that to happen, which I just think it's interesting that there's been all of these different sets of tires flying around, and maybe it's because we're very focused on Bottas at the moment. But he is always involved.
Yeah. Why does he have so many tire issues? Like, what is up with that?
It's Pirelli's anti-Bottas system. So Pirelli specifically designs
ABS.
their tires.
Oh my god, it's ABS.
It is, yeah.
Little did they know that getting rid of one ABS brought back a different ABS.
Yeah, that's true. There we go. We've solved it, boys. Anyway, we've cracked the code.
ABS will never leave F1.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you so much for listening. Please tune in with us next week for Baku. That'll certainly be fun. We'll see if Charles can finish a race, maybe. That'll be lovely.
I am stupid.
Yeah. Be sure to follow us on our socials. We are at Box Podcast on TikTok and Insta, and at Box Pod on Twitter. So be sure to give us a follow there for any dank TikToks and or memes. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Choosy. I'm just reusing the same outros now. I don't know any more outros.
We need to start looking up.
I'm tired. I'm trying to think of a pit crew one. Pit you later. You know what's funny is that they didn't actually. So they have the roles all okay.
They have the descriptions right for below, all of them,
but they're missing starter man. Hold on. I can fix this right now. Starter man. Crew. Edit this out. Don't make me look stupid.